Hey, what's going on? It's Stu here, and in this video I wanted to talk about two problems that I have with the objective personality community. There's two issues, and they come up all the time. I've gone through multiple sort of Facebook groups, all that sort of stuff, and these problems permeate through pretty much everything to do with this model. And those problems are self-typing and official typings. I'll start with the first one first. Self-typings. Don't self-type yourself. Just don't self-type yourself. If you follow their model, you'll know that self-typing yourself is probably one of the worst things you can do. It completely defeats the purpose of the model. The whole idea of the model is for other people to type you. It's not an objective model, despite the name. It's an intersubjective model, which means that there's going to be lots of different people coming to their own conclusions, following a checklist, and the conclusions that these people come to in their little partners following the checklist is going to be the typings that they produce. The more the typings are consistent, the more that they're the same, then the higher the likelihood is that that's going to be the accurate typing according to this model. So what this means is you can't type yourself according to this model. It doesn't work. It completely defeats the purpose. You can't type yourself in this model. That's not the point of the model. It's not a subjective model. It's not like the MBTI where you can just jump in and basically just pick what you want to be and that's it, call it a day. And you're 100% accurate because it's your subjective type. It's your own preferences. It's not about an ideal you. It's not about who you want to be, which is what the MBTI is about. It's about who you actually are, who you can be proven to be, according to the checklist, and then from the perspectives of the people that are following the checklist. And even then, they should be doing it in their little pairs. So each pair should formulate one reference point. That reference point is going to have much more weight and much more credibility than your own subjective typing, because typing yourself in this model doesn't work. You can't type yourself in this model. So I don't understand why I'm still seeing people self-typing themselves in this model. I don't get it. It was happening when I first joined up like a couple of years ago, and now they're still doing it now. I don't understand it. Don't type yourself in this model. It defeats the purpose of the model, and it doesn't work, and it's incorrect. You can't actually get your own type by typing yourself. You might get extremely lucky and type yourself the same as someone else might type yourself. You might get lucky enough to type yourself the same as another pair of people type themselves, but it still doesn't matter because the model is about multiple people coming to the same typing, and that's what it is. It doesn't include your own personal subjective opinions of your type. It doesn't include you in it. So there's no point in you typing yourself in this model. It's fun to theorize with, but it does defeat the purpose of the model if you're trying to type yourself. And the second problem I have is the official typings. People put a whole lot of weight and a whole lot of credibility into the official typings that they're getting from Dave and Shannon. And this doesn't make any sense because even Dave and Shannon, even though they created the model, they're still, as a pair, one single reference point. They're one point of reference. It's not an official typing. It doesn't mean it's your actual type. So you can get your typing from them. I understand why some people might do it because they're the ones that created the model. They're the ones that then probably understand the model the best or whatnot. It still doesn't mean that it's actually your type. It's not an official anything. It's not actually an official typing. It's just one single reference point. It's one perspective in relation to this model of what your type is. And that one perspective is made up of two different perspectives that should be came to in like their own little blind situations, blind testing. They shouldn't be sort of colluding, but it's still only one frame of reference. The only way for you to get closer to an accurate typing for yourself is to get multiple perspectives, get more people to type you. Don't just pay for Dave and Shannon to type you and call it a day. Their typing doesn't actually mean anything. It doesn't mean that that's your type. What they come up with isn't your type. It's not necessarily your type. It's what your type is according to them following their checklist. But what about other people following the same checklist? What about another pair? What do they get? Do they get the same typing? If they get the same typing, great, then you might be on the right track. If they don't, then there's going to be problems. There might be problems with people's understandings of the checklist and the definitions in it, or there might be problems with the model itself and it being too vague, which means that the whole model needs to be reassessed and sort of started from the foundations up to make sure everything's clear and understandable so people can actually follow it and get consistent typings with others. That's the point of the model. So from my perspective, official typings don't mean anything. There's no such thing as an official typing. It's not quite as irrelevant as a self-typing because self-typings defeat the entire purpose of the model, whereas the typings you get from Dave and Shannon, they don't defeat the purpose of the model. They're what the model is about, two different perspectives typing you. It just doesn't make an official typing. Just because they tell you what type they see you as doesn't mean that that's your actual type. It doesn't make that an official typing. People need to stop referring to the typings they get from Dave and Shannon as official typings because They're not. It's two people following a checklist coming to the same conclusion, apparently. That's it. That's what the typing is. You can get that from everyone else. You can get that from other people. Hunt down other perspectives of your type. Try and get a more wider perspective of your type from other people. That's going to be the best way to get your typings. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I just wanted to sort of stress that self-typing is just completely stupid within this model. It defeats the purpose of it. And the official typings aren't really official typings, and they shouldn't have too much weight put into them, because following the model, following what the model is about, you know, the whole point of the model, it's not about just paying Dave and Shannon to get an official type. That's it, call it a day, you're done. That's not what the model's about. It's about getting multiple perspectives, multiple different people, typing individuals according to a checklist in like a blind test scenario, coming to the same conclusions. And if they're not coming to the same conclusions, then there's either a problem with their understanding or there's a problem with the model, and the model needs to be redefined. Official typings aren't official typings. That needs to be eliminated. So don't self-type, and don't put too much faith in official typings, because they don't really exist. That's it from me. Cheerio out.